You will not believe the time that Donaire-Inoue versus Nonito Donaire World Boxing Super Series final fight happens on U.S. soil. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego in the back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below using the link in the description. It does help the channel. Now, Mike Coppinger of The Athletic, he posted this tweet, and it says the Donaire-Inoue Nonito Donaire bantamweight title unification fight will be streamed on Dazn on Thursday morning, starting at 5 a.m. ET, Eastern Standard Time, with Inoue, and Donaire scheduled for ring walks just after 7 East Coast time, and the opening bell around 7:25 ET. World Boxing Super Series final. Now, somebody tagged me in this. Shout out to my dude Renee out of Mexico. And a lot of people are saying the same thing. Such a great fight, such a horrible time. Is there a UFC event at 6:25 Eastern Standard Time? Like, making jokes. Damn, so 4:25 Pacific time, which is my time code because I'm in California. It says no, but Logan Paul and KSI fight on Saturday. Clearly why this fight is happening on Thursday, which doesn't make sense because they could have put it on Friday in Japan time and had it come on Thursday. The Logan Paul fight is not until Saturday. So that doesn't even make sense, right? It says, can always count on Mike to give us a lowdown on approximate fight start times. And the other thing, is this U.S. time, mate? I hope I don't get fired for watching the fight at my phone on work. Thanks for the info. I wish DAZN would have informed us of this. Sets alarm for 7 a.m. unless there's a UFC fight that they'll delay for it. That's awful. Do they want no one in the U.S. to watch it? I find it bizarre that DAZN don't post the main event start time on their own social media posts. So, to me, this is bad look. Off the heels of the Canelo versus Kovalev fight, which people feel whatever. To me, it looked fishy. Just the whole fight, the build up. Kovalev having no animosity and nothing but pure respect for Canelo, like they were buddy. Just the whole event. But even more bizarre was perhaps what we seen and the decision where they decided to not showcase the fight, to show and rival a competitor or wait for a competitor, as you see from this tweet from Sergey Kovalev the morning of. It says, attention fight fans, for tonight's Canelo Kovalev fight on DAZN, we have agreed to start after the end of Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal so that you can enjoy all of Saturday's fights. But that makes no sense. DAZN has Bellator, which is a rival to the UFC company. This is like Coke and Pepsi, right? Powerade versus Gatorade, Burger King, McDonald's. Why would you do anything if you have the better fight card and you were bold enough to put Canelo Kovalev in the same day, the same date, time, space as Dana White and UFC's card? Then you just got to, whatever the start times naturally, like when Ryan Garcia got a first round knockout, then normally, if you weren't competing, you would put your fight on next. That's just how it goes. Have a little, talking in between. I mean, when have you ever seen HBO say, oh, Showtime got this going on, so before Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez 4 come out, we're going to wait for Showtime to end their programming. That was an embarrassing look for boxing, to wait and watch a rival promoter and a rival sport, almost take precedence over what another boxing platform was doing. Now you got Donaire and Inoue for all the people in America, which they're charging $20 a month for a new subscription to the platform. People have watched the World Boxing Super Series last year when it wasn't on DAZN to this year, and they're looking for the climax. This is the final. This is the last World Boxing Super Series final. They've had some hiccups. Regis Prograis at first pulled out, things like that. but then it was later mended and we got a good fight out of the Josh Taylor fight. And, you know, this is the very final fight for at least most of the world. But this is the one that people are checking for a lot, you know, and it's going to be on at 4:25. Main event will be on at 4:25 Pacific Standard Time. Now, I get it. DAZN's an app. You can watch it at your leisure. But part of what makes boxing a fun sport is living in the moment. I mean, you don't want to run the chance of going on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter when you wake up at 9:30 and there's already spoilers out on the outcome. So this is another example of a fight that had potential to be bigger that has been relegated to a smaller fight based on poor management of time and, you know, decisions. I think Joshua versus Ruiz too, based on what happened in the first fight and Ruiz's fan base now, that could have been a big heavyweight fight. Notice you don't see as many people talking about it as much as they could because it's all the way in Saudi Arabia. A lot of people are like, man, I want to see it, but I can't afford to go out there, or, you know, I don't know if I feel safe going out there, blah, blah, blah. And the time is going to be an issue as well, because Saudi Arabia, when it's nighttime there, it's not necessarily nighttime in other places, major markets. And again, with respects to all these areas, Saudi Arabia, Japan, where the Inoue fight is happening, and the UK, I don't really understand DAZN's vision. I don't understand how you're pitching a product as an all-American product, or you want American subscribers. This is the market you're trying to capture, and it's happening on awkward times that we've never watched boxing. You know, 4:25. People on the East Coast had to watch the Canelo fight at 1 a.m, 2 a.m. I mean, how is that good for boxing? If somebody has a reasonable, detailed explanation of how that benefits boxing, because the whole thing is Inoue's a beast. I want him to become bigger. If he can beat Donaire, that's an American, Filipino-American, you know, long-standing name in the world of boxing. It's probably going to be a good fight. But look at the time it's coming on. It's like, how do you expect to grow like that if you're putting on at 4:25? People have to take their kids to work, or they have work themselves, or take their kids to school, you know, things like this. You know, people have to wait up in the UK and on the East Coast trying to watch this Canelo fight because you wait for UFC 244. Saudi Arabia, the fight's going to be on 2:30 p.m., 3:30 p.m., you know? So I don't understand the vision with all these times with DAZN. You know, this is ridiculous. The card starts at 5 a.m. Eastern time, which is 2 a.m. When have you ever seen a major card or pay-per-view in America, or HBO or Showtime, Fox, any of them, put on a card that started at 2 a.m., no matter, irregardless of where it was? Because keep in mind, ESPN had Pacquiao fight in Australia. There's a big time difference, right? He fought Jeff Horn in Australia, but I remember watching that fight and it was on at nighttime, you know, evening, nighttime. Pacquiao fought against Lucas Matisse in Malaysia, and it happened at a reasonable time for most of the U.S. because that's, you know, ESPN got the rights to it, so they made accommodations to make sure it worked, you know. But with DAZN, they're not even remotely even trying. They're picking up the fight, and you think you're going to get peak viewership at 2 a.m. to 4:25 a.m. in the morning? You know, it's bad enough that Donaire advanced to the finals based on injuries. You know, Ryan Burnett got injured in fight, so the fight just ended prematurely. It didn't end traditionally. Then he was supposed to fight Zolani Tete, you know, who trains out of the Mayweather gym, and he got injured the week of the fight. So DAZN, with all these injuries and different stuff, you know, it's just a bad look. I don't see how this uplifts boxing. Let me know what you guys think. Donaire versus Inoue. I want to give you guys an update. If you plan on watching it, it's going to come on at that time. The other thing that I had that is concerning for me as a real boxing reporter and fan is, how come Canelo Kovalev got inconvenienced by UFC? This is coming on at an inconvenient time. Donaire and Inoue, both fights ill promoted. But then you have KSI Logan Paul too, and it seems like DAZN is all in for that fight. There's no major obstacles, major weird times, and U.S. audiences can watch KSI Logan Paul. Their planning was so great with that fight, where it's coming on at a reasonable time. It's happening in LA at the Staples Center. The market that they're trying to capture, you know, the US market, is able to watch that, you know, without any kind of inconveniences. Something to think about. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.